Hi, and welcome to the Bestie Perspective, a raw, unfiltered space where we explore the mind-body-spirit connection. Every Wednesday, we dive into personal growth, holistic healing, and life's ups and downs to inspire, support, and remind you you're never alone on this journey. Boo! Did I scare you? Since it's Halloween week and the season for spooky vibes, I thought I'd join in. Don't worry, that's literally the only fright you'll get today. The rest of this episode, a mix of curiosity, laughter, and those educational surprises you didn't see coming. Now, I know death is usually a topic we tiptoe around. We avoid it like it's the monster under the bed. But here's the thing. Talking about it doesn't have to be scary. In fact, it can be really fascinating, enlightening, and even kind of fun. So today, we're inviting curiosity, not fear. And to help us navigate this tricky taboo and surprisingly playful territory, we have our very first guest on the podcast, Rhonda Basner.
Yay! Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I'm a little excited.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. She is involved with something called Death Cafés, which, despite the name, aren't your typical somber gatherings. They're safe, welcoming spaces where people can chat openly about death, explore questions that make us think, and yes, sometimes even laugh a little along the way. So buckle up, besties, and grab your candy. This episode is going to be a mix of fun, reflection, and maybe a few, oh wow, I never thought about that moments. Before we get into Death Cafés, can you share a little bit about your story? What sparked your curiosity about death and how you came to be so involved in this work?
Well, in case you didn't know, we're all going to die.
What?
And
I am immortal.
and I kind of dug in a little 6 feet under by watching the HBO series 6 Feet Under, and a great, well-written. Highly suggest you watch it. You may have to get into it a couple episodes. It's kind of like a what are the things called?
Is it like a documentary?
Nah, it's not so much a documentary as
Docu-series?
kind of a docu-series. What's General Hospital?
Soap
and
opera?
All My Children.
Soap opera kind of thing?
Kind of like a soap opera.
Okay.
It's kind of like a soap opera. So one of the episodes, because it follows the lives of this family, the Fishers, and they own a funeral home. And one of the episodes was the husband's wife passed away, and she had a green burial, a green funeral, a natural burial, which I had never heard before. They showed her in a wicker casket, and that's what they buried her in. And the wicker casket, and with a green funeral, everything is biodegradable. So you could be buried in a shroud, you could be buried in a wicker casket, you can be buried in a wooden box, and there's no embalming. And I thought, after seeing that, that's the way I'm going to go. And I started learning about green burials, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and have gone on and on and on. And I went to a death cafe along the way.
How cool.
Wow. I had no idea even about green burials.
Same.
And that was an option.
Never heard of it before.
I think it's a phenomenal option. And maybe at some point you'll go, I mean, there's a green burial society, and cemeteries need to be certified to have green burials. And I mean, there's different levels of the green burial. When you're buried, you're only buried like 3 or 4 feet under, as opposed to 6 feet under. And there's some cemeteries that are hybrid, that have conventional cemeteries and natural cemeteries, which actually were the very first cemeteries, was a natural cemetery. I mean, there wasn't always embalming. Embalming came with Lincoln. They had to get his body when he died. He had to get his body from point A to point B, and they embalmed him so he would still look good by the time he got to his resting place.
Wow. So was that actually the start of embalming? Was with Lincoln?
Yes, I believe so.
It reminds me
cool.
of the term natural birth now. That's what it was. It used to just be birth.
That's what it was. And talking about natural birth, and there usually you have a midwife or a doula. Well, now, and there probably always was, but now it's a very large movement. There are death doulas that help people pass, maybe in conjunction with hospice or maybe just on their own. But that's a whole nother show.
Similar to like a palliative care team, maybe even.
Yes. Definitely there's palliative care involved in that. My understanding, and I might be wrong, but my understanding is it's basically at the last, when you're ready to pass on, where palliative care, I think, keeps you comfy, but you're expected to live.
Gotcha. So to circle back, it's all HBO's fault that Rhonda went down this path.
I love it. I'm so happy. I mean, just, and you talk about natural births, which I had with all my kids because I read everything I could, and knowledge is power. And I was prepared. I was prepared for
there you go.
Whatever happened. So now I'm going to be prepared to die.
Love it.
Yes. All right. Now that we know a little bit about you, Rhonda, let's get into that little word you dropped about death cafes. I have to admit, when you first mentioned death cafes, I had never even known such a thing existed. So can you just tell us what death cafes are and what they're not, and also what drew you to them?
Sure. Well, a death cafe, and is an actual, I think it's a trademark term, because if you have an actual death cafe, it's not about talking about grief. It's not a place for counseling. It's just a gathering with tea, spirits. Ooh, I learned something new about spirits, but tea, spirits, cake, coffee, and just talking about end of life. And that can be anywhere from talking about different dispositions, advanced care directives, different types of funerals, afterlife, MAID, which is medical aid in dying. So it could be many, 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 many topics, but it's not a grief group.
Cool. And how did you discover them for the first time, or what even inspires you to go, besides just your interest, of course, in death and end of life?
Well, along the way, as I listened to, anything I can get my hands on as far as podcasts or webinars, or I follow everything. Any movie I watch, any documentary I watch has something to do with end of life. And Death Cafe came up at one point, and I was interested in it. And then there was an opportunity. I saw one being offered at a local church, and I was familiar with who was putting it on. Anybody can put one on. And I just went. I went, and it was quite a large group. I thought it was like 20, 25 people. And we just sat around in a circle, and she used the death deck, which is a deck of cards, multiple choice or A, B, or just open-ended questions. And there's a death deck, there's a dementia deck, and there's an end-of-life deck. And I also got you 20% off for all your listeners to get anything on the Death Deck website.
Yay.
Very nice open-ended questions. Easy, helps you talk with a loved one or have a death cafe yourself. So anyway, the question that the facilitator chose was, would you want to know when you were going to die? So I will pose that to all of you. Lauren, would you want to know?
I would not want to know.
Any specific reason?
I think for me, I have overthinker tendencies. And I think if I knew when, then that would constantly be sitting in the back of my mind, where I much prefer to just live every day to the fullest and enjoy every moment. And I think not knowing gives me more peace than knowing I had a certain expiration date.
Yeah, I am. I think for some other reasons as well, I'm a no, because just in my experience, in my journey spiritually and whatnot, I just know that reality is way more malleable than we think. And so even if someone were to tell me a certain trajectory, my belief is that there's multiple realities, infinite possibilities, and I'd be able to change it. But then on the other side, there's also my understanding of awareness. And so we get in our world the identity that we embody. Therefore, if I am told I'm going to die in a specific way, I could claim that as true and make it happen. So I would be like, just don't say anything. Let me be.
Okay, so far 2 for 2. Hannah?
Yeah, I don't want to know when I'm going to die for all the above.
I'm with you. And I was shocked that it was almost 50-50, maybe 60-40 that people wanted to know.
That surprises
me. They wanted to check things off their bucket list. They wanted to make sure they made menses.
Wow.
Whatever the reason was, I was blown away because, of course, I think that only my answers are the right ones.
But it also kind of makes me think our societies need to control, in a sense, too, that maybe we're just in this habit of trying to plan and to, I think control is the best word for it.
Well, I think if everybody would live like this was their last minute, we'd all be better off.
Yeah.
I think we all agree.
That's wild, though, that more people want to know.
I know.
I wonder, as like people were going around sharing, if some people were no, and then the people that were yes, explaining their reasons why. I wonder if it made people change their mind.
It did.
That's good. Oh,
it did.
That's
it made them change their mind on my side. I mean, not my side, but my side, not to know, because I was the first. I think it was maybe the first couple people that sat there. I was just like, I was dumbfounded. I just could not even believe, number one, that it even would have been a question.
Right.
And when I preached my preach, there's my dog. I think they came around and knew that I was right. So, and there really is no right or wrong. There really is no right or wrong. I'm kidding.
But you also surprised me in sharing beforehand that you were one of the oldest people there. That a lot of Death Cafés have a younger crowd.
Oh, generally speaking, yes. And even in the industry, even in the funeral industry, end of life industry, if y'all need a career, there's a gazillion out there. Seriously, because it's not a dying industry, even though it's a dying industry.
But
Yeah, but young funeral directors and cemetery owners, and even, which kind of surprises me sometimes when I see gals your age, and knowing that more natural options are now becoming so mainstream that they still go the embalming route. When you have nothing to do, if you want to read how somebody's embalmed, you would never embalm a person you knew. I shouldn't say that, but it's horrid. But I guess they don't feel it.
I can't imagine that it's pretty.
You are allowed to share your opinions.
Oh, good, because I really don't have any.
And she's not always right?
On a side note, while you were talking, I actually looked up wicker caskets, and they are so adorable.
Really?
Really?
Oh my gosh, they're beautiful.
Can you screen share real quick?
Yeah, let me screen share.
Not only are there wicker caskets, but there's cardboard boxes that can hold, people 200, 300 pounds that, people can draw pictures on or
wow.
markers on or, just.
Oh, they're so cute. I want one.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if cute's the right word, but I think they're quite beautiful.
They are pretty.
They're so pretty.
They're very pretty.
Wow.
To me, this looks so whimsical.
It does.
And again, I don't know if I said this before, but I saw that and I was like, which is a little silly, but I was like, oh, I can breathe. Because the thought of being in a metal casket or, something to that effect. Oh, yeah, they're pretty.
Oh, I love it.
I bet they're a lot lighter weight than a traditional casket too.
Sure. Yes, ma'am. And the reason that they have metal caskets in a traditional cemetery, traditional conventional, they have metal caskets and then you have to be buried in a concrete vault is so that the ground doesn't collapse, so they can cut their grass easier. That's the main reason for it. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not going to decompose in all that metal, embalmed, and the concrete, because you will.
Wow.
Just over a longer period, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So interesting. I'd love to keep this Death Cafe style chat going. You want to ask us another question?
Well, I went to a death conference and you could go to different workshops, and they had an activity where you could describe what you wanted on your deathbed or how you wanted your deathbed. And, some people said they wanted all their loved ones around them. Some people just wanted to be out, outside. And some people wanted to look at the windows. Some people wanted all of the above. So I don't mean to put you on the spot. I mean, but when they listed some different ideas, so I didn't want anybody around me. I just want it to be peaceful and play. I have an end of life death list music selections. So one of mine is Mazzy Star, Lay Myself Down. So I'm sure that you guys think about this all the time. Did you ever think about it? Songs that you'd like or how you would like your end of life? Because I know I'm just going to go peacefully. This is just the way it's going to be. I'm going to be in my bed and that's the way it's going to go. So have you ever thought about your end of life or what kind of music you want or how you would want it to be or what you'd want your last meal to be or who you'd want around you?
Such good questions.
So I guess the way, if I could design it, it would be peaceful as well in my sleep, cozied up next to my husband. But I would want it to be that way after a fun day with family and friends, whether it was a holiday celebration, a vacation, a birthday party, like something that was just a blast, any sort of event that was a gathering of my friends and loved ones.
So would you be knowing that you're going to die, or you would just have this wonderful event of a day and then you would just pass?
Last hurrah.
Okay.
Not knowing though.
Yep. Good.
I think I'm on the same page as Eileen with that, where again, because I don't want to know when, I wouldn't know this is the last day, but just a day with perfect weather and friends and family and just laughter and really good memories, great food, all the things. It's hard, honestly, for me to pick, what would that last meal be? But honestly, I just think if I had my loved ones all around me and we were just sharing a meal that all of us created in some way, shape, or form, that would be special enough for me. I don't know that it has to be one specific food. But yeah, I think I'm on the same page of having just a great send-off type day. And I think I may have mentioned this to you ladies before, but I want to notebook it with my husband, where we fall asleep together and we just go peacefully, and that's that. We don't have to worry about being without each other.
I like it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Hannah, any thoughts?
You posed the question again about would you like to know? But at this point, I imagine I'm going to die old and having lived a very wonderful life, good quality life. But at the end of life, it's not that I want to know, but I think I will know when the time is getting close. And so if I could imagine that time, I think I would want my friends and family close by. So if there's anything that I want to share with them on my deathbed, I can. And you mentioned one song, and one song that comes to mind for me is instrumental classical. It's Claire de Lune. I love that song. It brings me wonderful feelings every time I see it. It reminds me of my grandmother. And so I feel like that song is like a bridge for me to the spirit world. That's how I imagine being supported. Even a death doula sounds pretty
I
cool
know,
too. Maybe I'll
right?
include one of those.
We got to look into
I
these death
know.
doulas. But if I were to pick my song, it would be the one that I walk down the aisle to. And
Oh.
I love all different cultures and whatnot. I'm Latina, but I love Indian on all different kinds. And mine is actually kirtan music called Om Namu. And the sacred mantra in the song is Om Namu Guru Dev Namo. And it roughly translates to mean, I bow to the creative wisdom. I bow to the divine teacher within. And it's just peaceful. It's meditative. It's musical prayer. And so that song would have to be there, I think, for the ceremony of some sort. But then I'd want a party. I want a playlist.
Celebrate good times.
Exactly.
Come
Yes,
on.
lots of fun music afterwards. But that song should, I think set that peaceful tone for the ceremony. And then we can party.
See? Don't you all feel better about going
I
now?
love that.
Right?
Yeah, I think I'm with you on like the party send out too. I think it's different thinking about maybe even like what I would want to hear when the time comes versus I would like a celebration of life.
Yeah, same.
After being to funerals as a child and growing up as that being the norm, once I got to go to a celebration of life as an adult, I immediately thought, wow, this is what I want. People sharing stories and maybe some tears, but a lot of laughter and good music and food and just going out with a bang and that kind of thing. So I definitely know it that my favorite turnip song, Get Low by Lil Jon, has to be playing there for sure. Because I want people to get low one more time as I get low from my last time.
Below ground.
Okay, Lauren. So what I'm hearing is if I have to be on this planet without you, then if you choose that a death doula is part of the plan, I'm going to look for a death doula who also duels as an event planner.
There you go.
Yes. I love it.
Well, Hannah, maybe you should become one.
Ooh.
Ooh. And then, I don't know, when I think about, this actually just came to me listening to you guys share, but there's a song by Bryan Adams called Here I Am. Are you guys familiar? Ira and I actually processed out of our wedding to this song.
Maybe if I heard it, I don't know it offhand.
But it's like, here I am, this is me. There's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be. Here I am, just me and you. It's like that kind of, I don't know if you're familiar, but anyway, it's really sweet. And it was also played in, it's an animated horse movie, The Spirit of Cimarron or something like that. I can never remember the name right. But anyway, it's really sweet. And it's played in the movie when this little tiny baby horse is like trying to walk for the first time and starting to develop and grow and have this life. But I also see it being this beautiful final moment as well. Here I am. This is me. There's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be. Like even those words. And so, yeah, I think that's maybe the vibe of music I would want to hear on my way out. But I definitely want a last banger party with some Lil Jon, some Pitbull, all the stuff.
Well, very good. Little side note, what I learned just the other day, it kind of has something to do with end of life. You've heard of spirits and whatnot. Well, you've heard of when you see wine, beer, and spirits when you go to the liquor store.
Right.
Well, do you know how that got there? People, when they drank a whole lot, they would see spirits.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That cracked me up. But of course, that made so much sense.
That actually makes a lot of sense. On that note, cheers.
Yes, as we take sips. No.
Salud.
I have a question. What's one thing you'd want people to celebrate about your life rather than mourn?
Well, I don't want anybody mourning, period. Yeah, I don't want anybody mourning. I mean, I feel like if I live by the way that I preach and want to live in the moment and listen when somebody is knocking on my head, don't say that, or don't do that, or be aware of what's going on, I will have fulfilled my life and I will have given my best to the people who needed to have it. So no mourning. If I was maybe your age, maybe there'd be a little mourning, but I'm 66 years old and if I got to go, I got to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think same thing. I feel like more, I would want more celebration than mourning, to celebrate just the smiles that I've brought to my loved ones' faces, the joy, the laughter, the fun memories, and the love. Because when in a different one of our episodes, Len brought up the female archetype quiz. And when I took it, I got the mother. And one of the things was being a bottomless well of love. And I feel like I really, really resonated with that. And just for anybody who is close to me or gets in my circle, I just want to love on them and give them all the love. And so I think I really just want people to celebrate and remember what that felt like, what my love felt like. And hopefully it always sticks with them.
It felt good. That's what I'll remember.
That's why she gives the best hugs.
I know. What about you, Hannah? One thing. I think we're all in agreement. We want everyone to celebrate our lives in general, but
I don't know. They're allowed to miss me a little bit. No, but generally I don't want people feeling, I don't want them to mourn over me in a state where they can't move on with their life.
Sure.
I hope anyone close to me would know how much I love them and that I want them to move on with their life and do things as if I'm still there with them, because I will be still there with them every step of the way and being that guiding light for them, even though they may not always know it. What you said really resonated with me too, Lauren. I think just, the love. Loving people is probably my favorite feeling that I get. Like, I just love loving people, and I want them to remember feeling that way in my presence and living in the moment too, Rhonda. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick just one. That's so hard.
There's just so much to celebrate about you, Hannah.
Celebrate all the things. Miss me. Party. Do it all.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
I would want people to remember that I lived with curiosity, but I also trusted in something greater than myself. And I sought to always expand in that trust in both my mind and my heart, and kind of discover each one's capacity, whether that was by turning pain into purpose or just continuing on my path and growing even when it was hard.
I like that
beautiful. I'm going to come back to this recording at your funeral, Len. I'm going to say, she said she wanted to be remembered by this, you guys. So,
Yes.
And Hannah, what makes you think Eileen's going before
Yeah, hey.
I said at the beginning of this, I'm immortal, guys. I'm not dying.
That's true. What about you, Rhonda?
I thought I
She
answered the
answered
question.
this.
I'm not.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
think I
sorry.
did. That's okay. Because
I know you said not mourned, but
question. So that's a good thing that I already answered it. That's good. Yeah, just
Okay,
living
I'm
in the
sorry.
moment and trusting that higher spirit, and knowing that I just really truly believe that. I mean, we're all sitting here because this is where we're all supposed to be sitting.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and when I get up and do something else, that's, and the more I listen to that spirit, God, the higher being, life sure is a lot easier. Life sure
Yeah.
is a lot easier. Right here, right now. Not back there, not up there, right here.
Mhm.
The end.
Yeah.
Simple.
Awesome.
If death were a character in a movie, how would you imagine it? What characteristics would it have? Would it be friendly, villainous, comedic? How would somebody meet you if it were a character in a movie?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Do any movie characters from like real life movies come to mind when you say peaceful, or actors or anything like that?
Not really.
I'm imagining like a fairy godmother type.
There you go. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Just or just maybe an innocence of a child that just goes through life and doesn't seem to be bothered by the surroundings, or doesn't know to be bothered by the surroundings. I don't know of a character like that. I don't think I don't watch a whole lot of movies unless they're about death. So I don't really know any. I'm not a real good movie buff.
I love that.
See, I'm seeing like a high priestess or a holy man kind of figure, someone to revere and honor. I see death as something wise and calm. I do get the peaceful, Rhonda. I agree with that, but I see wisdom as well.
I feel that for sure. I think to me it's friendly, like an old friend vibe, somebody that you know how sometimes you meet people where it feels like I feel like I've just known you even though I haven't quote met you
Just
yet.
familiar.
But that familiar feeling, and it reminds me, I feel like a really great depiction. I don't know if any of you have seen the show Sandman on Netflix. Death is one of the main character Dream's sisters, and she meets people, and she just has this like grounded, calming presence to her and this gentleness. And she walks up to people in the show and they're like, "Oh, wait, no, is it time?" And she's like, "Yeah, it is." And then she like gently extends out a hand. And, as soon as they take her hand, she walks them to the afterlife. But it's this kind of beautiful, again, like an old friend, this calm, gentle, friendly figure. Trusting. Yeah, like you can trust that, oh, I can go with this person. I'm safe to go here. It's okay to go with them.
What's your answer,
Yeah.
Hannah? I'm curious.
You guys, well, you might remember, but you guys are so sweet with the peaceful and calm. And like, I can dig that, but also like, I'm imagining like Deadpool, like somebody funny, lightening the mood. Also familiar, and be like, you're the one that's been around. Like, I know you. But more like that vibe. He shows up with the dog.
The ugly dog.
With the dog who has his tongue hanging off the side. But in a lighthearted way, I can imagine someone showing up and being like, if you thought that was an adventure, wait for what's next.
Oh, I like that.
That's fun. I do like that too. And I feel like a lot of the times it's portrayed in TV and movies as like the Grim Reaper and this like crazy, scary
Right.
figure that's coming to snatch you away from the
Yeah.
life you love. And I love that all of ours are much different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Deadpool's a
gosh.
little scary to look
True.
at without his mask. So he's like kind of a Grim Reaper in a way. but a funny Grim Reaper. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
I love
gosh.
how different all of these were.
And it is. I mean, I would assume that all deaths are pretty different. But I think to
Yeah.
be prepared or to have, an awareness as opposed to a fear of death. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to die. Well, that's not true because there is medical aid in dying, which I'm going to use this term, but it's not a proper term, but just to give you a little bit of what this is, like assisted suicide.
Oh, okay.
But that Compassion and Choices is an organization. That's not what it is. It's medical aid in dying. So if you were in, and now it's not legal, I think it's legal in 10 or 12 states or something, maybe more, but not many. But and every law is different in every state with it. But people who are suffering greatly do want to pass because they're just suffering so great from whatever illness they are. But other than that, I don't think anybody really says, "Oh yeah, let's go," or take me Deadpool, or take me Grim Reaper, or is it my turn yet, Sandman? Or
Yeah. As with a lot of different things in life, it's this kind of fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
With what you're talking about and the knowledge and empowering yourself with that knowledge, I think it is a little bit of a way to quell that fear. Because even just what we've learned from you, and even in my other conversations with you, Rhonda, after gaining that knowledge and information, it makes me less scared and afraid because I didn't know these options existed.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it's one of those things where it's a fear because we don't know truly what's going to happen or what it's going to feel like or all of those
And a lot
kind of things.
we don't know because we're afraid to know.
Right.
As opposed to diving in and learning everything you wanted to know about whatever you wanted to study, the more you know, the higher you can stand on your 2 feet and be prepared for anything that comes your way.
Yeah, because I feel like we've all had experiences that we've been really nervous or fearful about because we didn't know how it was going to go down. And then it happens. And most of the time it's like, why was I even so worked up or nervous or afraid?
Amen. Amen. No worry. Can't worry.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're absolutely right. I mean, it's you only have right here. You can't worry up there. I know I've said that probably 10 times in this podcast, but it's so true. Worry is a wasted emotion.
We got to adopt the Bob Marley. Don't you worry about a thing.
That's right. Everything's going to be all right.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad we got to dive in and actually experience some of those Death Cafe style questions. So thank you for that. And I feel like it was really enlightening, but also really fun to get to explore the what ifs in a safe way with friends in a casual conversation without it feeling very heavy or negative or a lot of pressure. Because I think those things are often associated with death. So it's fun to like pull back the curtains on this and realize death doesn't have to be scary.
Doesn't have to be scary. And let me say one other thing. As far as having conversations, there's many different ways, but there's a great website called The Conversation Project. And I would highly recommend to anyone who hasn't talked with their parents about their wishes and getting their parents' wishes, with advanced directives and what they want and opening those conversations. I mean, I certainly don't want my kids to plan my vacation, nor do I want them to be planning my death. I want to know. I mean, that's just also a gift. It's a gift to give to a child or to a parent to know. I mean, anybody 18 years or older should have an advance directive. And that may change every single year. It's not written in stone, but to have an advance directive, what do you want? Well, how do you want to keep alive? There's a bevy of questions. I don't know if that's the correct term, but there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of advance directives. You could just you just search whatever your state is, Tennessee advance directive, Georgia advance directive, they're all free. There's some that you could pay for, but there's no reason. And it just goes through a little questionnaire. So being prepared and having those conversations with your family is also it's a gift.
I really, really like how you put it as a gift, Rhonda, because I know something that I know the three of us can really relate to from nursing is families not being prepared and people who are struggling to let go of a loved one and not knowing what this person truly wants. And all three of us have been witness to people decaying in front of our eyes because family members are not ready to let them go.
Yeah, so true.
Well said.
And it's not always from a psychological standpoint of someone who just like they already have the advance directive, they just can't let them go. It's just there's a lot of questioning and going back and forth with the added emotional weight of my loved one is not doing well. It is so much harder to have clarity when you have those strong emotions really weighing you and your loved ones down. Maybe you think, oh, I could probably handle that, but what about everyone else who's helping you make the decision?
All the more reason that your decisions should be in writing.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, it's not going to be easy to let anyone, a loved one pass. Well, maybe it's easy to let some loved ones pass, but anyway.
Right? We can't say everyone, right?
Yes, but I mean, doctors, and you should know this. I mean, nurses, doctors, they go to school to keep people alive.
Right.
Yes.
And I've been involved with a community that's really trying to educate doctors on having these conversations with their patients and having these records, advance directives in the patient's records. So anyway, I'll get off my casket. And
I have a note. No, actually, that's okay because
Get
it's
off your
interesting.
casket. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stay on your casket, Rhonda. Well, it's important for people to be educated and be empowered in their decisions, right? And something that people may not always know is, like, for example, I have a family member who underwent surgery, and normally they are, by choice, DNR on every other hospital clinical visit they've ever had. And when they had to go under emergency surgery, they make you change your status to a full code. So if anything should happen, you are going to be resuscitated. I've never seen a patient case in my years that someone was allowed to go under surgery as a DNR. But Lauren, did you ever see that when you were in the OR? Do you remember?
Yeah, we would have people because that was always something that we had to announce and make sure the whole team knew going into it.
Okay.
Because sometimes there's potentially quality of life kind of surgeries.
Yeah.
Where it's going to reduce pain or improve their quality of life. But if they were, it was definitely something as the OR nurse, I was like, okay, just so everyone's aware, this person's a DNR. Or really, I think they changed it from DNR to DNI, do not intervene, because do not resuscitate is,
Or I thought it was do not intubate, do not resuscitate. Now I'm like really questioning
and I never heard
background.
DNI.
I think I could be wrong. I think there's I think the DNR was too harsh sounding, and maybe I'm confusing it. So I could totally be wrong. Feel free to look it up. But
I'm
I
about
think
to look
there's
it up.
like a more gentle way that they're calling it now.
It is do not intubate.
Leave me the F alone.
Leave me the F alone. BTFO. Back the fuck off.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So I was a little bit wrong about that, but it is good to be mindful of. So hospitals have percentages, numbers of people who have died after they've gotten a certain medical intervention or surgery. So, and those numbers are usually within 30 days of said procedure or surgery. So there are a lot of doctors who push to keep the patient alive for a certain amount of time and sway the family one way. And then come that 30 or 31 day mark, say, well, it's not looking so hot. Like we've held on for so long.
Oh, that's so
and
unethical.
like, what are your options
Oh my
right now?
God.
This is
Right.
so wrong.
Well, note to self, Miss Hannah, to make sure you have your ducks in a row.
Yeah. Get my ducks in a row.
It is really sad, though, that, again, I think that's a big reason the three of us have gotten out of traditional nursing in that way, because we didn't get into it to be part of a factory system that is prioritizing money and getting people in and getting people out and hitting certain markers and whatever. We actually got into it to heal people, and that's not what medicine is doing anymore.
No.
Right. Or even if you wanted to approach or have that conversation or take more of a death doula role or whatever, you know, we're kind of limited in that. So either way, it's not clicking. That's why I left.
Well, and this is, you know, there's this, they coined this the death positivity movement, and, you know, with death doulas and, you know, natural burials and home funerals, where, I mean, a funeral parlor, that got the name because people used to put their family, when they passed, they were in the parlor in their house, and you had a home funeral. And there's a huge organization, the Home Funeral Alliance, and they can tell you just how to prepare a body and, you know, just all the different steps and whatever. So, I mean, me personally, my husband knows, do not, under any circumstances, take me to a hospital. I'm good. And, you know, maybe if I break a leg or something, we'll discuss it. But, and I'm not poo-pooing hospitals. I'm really not.
There's a place.
There's definitely a place. And I don't think that yeah.
I think we all are on the same page.
Yeah.
We know that Western medicine has its place. However.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're saying it without saying it.
Yes. Head east, young man.
So, all this being said, I know we went a little bit into the hospital conversation for a second, but are there any death-related questions that you're still deliberating, or that you still come back to, or have maybe changed your mind on?
I'm not 100% sure what I want my disposition to be. So I think that the wicker casket sounds beautiful, but I think I may forego the casket and just be buried in a cotton shroud. But I kind of go back and forth on things. And then there's also now terramation, and there's aquamation.
Terramation? Oh my gosh.
Aquamation.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Yes, ma'am. Terramation is where you are composted, which just got legal in Georgia.
Wow.
Go Georgia.
Wow. Go Georgia. Okay.
Georgia. Alkaline hydrolysis, water cremation. It's a disposition which is used for pets. It's like a cremation with no flame, and is 95% water and a 5% alkaline solution. And it's legal. It's not available in all states, but I believe it's legal in all states, as are home funerals, just as an FYI. And you can be buried on your own property, just as an FYI. You just need to learn your codes.
Wow.
I never knew that.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is so wild.
You need to learn the state codes, but it is legal. But the alkaline hydrolysis uses, I'm not sure of the statistics, but just a minute energy as opposed to cremation, which people I think is natural or whatever, or you can bury somebody's ashes and then make them a tree or whatever. Well, they're not. They're charred. It's fire cremations, fire remains. But with the alkaline solution, farmers will buy it or they'll dump the water because there's no DNA, nothing in that water solution. And the same thing with the terramation, where you are decomposed and I think it takes about a month or so that they just kind of turn you just like a composter.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it creates a lot of compost. And, families can take, it's a lot. I forget how much it is, but it's like so much that really people can't even use that much themselves. But anyhow,
I'm chuckling to myself. It's like stick them in the dryer.
Yeah. So that's
Tumble dry.
That's my story. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And every day there's new things, mushroom coffins and
Wow.
mushroom caskets.
That was my question, though, was like, if someone chooses to undergo aquamation or terramation, could the family still retrieve at least part of them? Like how people keep cremated ashes and stuff?
With the aquamation, alkaline hydrolysis, water cremation, all interchangeable terms, you get back the same ashes as you would cremation, except they're white because they're not burned. You get the remains, just like cremation. With the terramation, you get dirt.
Wow.
Okay, so you could actually use the terramation to garden.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
See, I could see my husband wanting to be turned into dirt.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's also making me think, if it doesn't exist already, the next thing on the rise is something to do with air, right? Because we've got fire, we've got earth, we've got water. So there's going to have to be a way to get...
Freeze dry ya.
Like I said, tumble dry.
There you go. We can have a business.
Oh my goodness. So another thing I wanted to ask is just, Rhonda, anyone who, after hearing our conversation today, is interested in safely approaching a death cafe in their town, what's the best way for them to get started or figure out where they are?
There's a website, Death Cafés. I think it's deathcafes.com. There's also Death Over Drafts, Death Over Dinner, which are all organizations that have guidelines, if you will. And these death cafes, I was one at a church. I went to one at a library. Sometimes they're held at funeral homes. You can have one in your house. So anyone can have one.
So cool. It definitely makes me even want to think about hosting a virtual one or something. That would be really cool.
And you can. And there are. They do. There's webinars and podcasts and just, again, having one positive thing about COVID, Zoom. So many things are on a Zoom that you absolutely could have a death cafe over Zoom.
For sure.
And maybe your listeners will write and say, oh, I'd be interested in that. And then you host one.
Yeah, that's very true. So let us know if any of you are interested in a little death cafe conversation. And if our listeners are going to walk away from this conversation remembering just one thing, what would you want it to be?
Get an advance directive. Make your end of life wishes known.
I apologize if you already mentioned it, but didn't you say a resource before? Isn't there a resource where people can go to make an advance directive for free? Did you mention that already?
There's a gazillion. If you just push whatever your state is, Tennessee Advance Directives, there's a organization called 5 Wishes. There's several different things that have booklets. Funeral Consumers Alliance, which is a wonderful organization and empowers consumers to make educated decisions, has a Before I Go, You Should Know. And that's a whole pamphlet of different things. And then there's also, even to expand more, having all your passwords written down and just getting all that stuff written. To get all in your bank accounts and how to delete your Facebook account. And so there's, it can go on and on and on and on and on and on. If you just searched advanced directive, you'll have a million different choices.
Awesome.
But it could just be very simple.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Sounds really important.
I think so.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing the resources. And I'll try to put some of these links also in the episode description to make it easier for everyone to find. And for everyone listening at home, maybe take just 5 minutes this week to reflect on one of the prompts we talked about, whether it's your funeral song, your ideal good death, or even what you'd want people to celebrate about your own life. Or even better, share it with a loved one and see what they come up with. As you can see, it can be really fun because we've certainly shared a bunch of laughs today, and you really might be surprised at the conversations that it sparks. Now, we definitely only scratched the surface today. I know Rhonda mentioned a few different disposition options besides just cremation and burial, the green burials, the aquamation, the terramation, body composting, and more. So if you're curious and you want to explore more end-of-life options or advanced directives or just more ways to have these conversations in a fun, approachable way, let us know. Comment, reach out, or connect with us on our link tree in the episode description. We want to hear what questions you've been pondering about death, and maybe we'll dive into them in a future episode. I want to say thank you again to Rhonda for being our very first guest and sharing all of her insights and stories with us today.
Yay, thank you.
Yay.
Did you have something to say, Hannah?
Oh, no, I was just raising the roof.
And another big thank you to Rhonda for scoring us and all of our listeners that 20% off of the Death Decks so everyone can explore their own curious conversations. A reminder to use code Bestie20 at checkout. A link will be in the episode description with the discount. If you're sitting with questions of your own, whether it's planning a funeral or the advanced directives or any of the dispositions we talked about, you're also more than welcome to reach out to Rhonda directly with your questions. You can email her at threefeetunder@outlook.com. That's each word spelled out. We will also put her information in the episode description. We hope you've had as much fun exploring these questions as we have. Remember to celebrate life, reflect on death, and maybe even try a little Death Cafe style curiosity yourself. Wishing you a week full of treats, laughter, and a touch of spooky fun. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and always trust in your own bestie perspective.